monotonic dancer.
I have to go home.
Count the headlights on the highway.
You are home.
The soundtrack for Almost Famous is an absolute masterpiece. Not only is it wall-to-wall with classic rock hits that reportedly cost the production over $3.5 million in licensing, it's also artfully and meticulously chosen. A nuanced way to tell this story about music, with music. Sometimes in subtle, sometimes in touching, and sometimes in hilariously ironic ways. There are over 60 songs featured in the film, only 17 of which made it onto the Grammy-winning original soundtrack. But we're going to detail the most important and iconic among them in an effort to explain why we think Almost Famous has one of the most legendary soundtracks of all time. If you haven't seen it recently, and you could be forgiven, it's been 2 decades since its release, we'll refresh the plot for you. And this should go without saying, but spoilers ahead. The movie takes place in the early 1970s and follows young writer William Miller as he follows the band Stillwater on their journey to make it big. It's loosely autobiographical to writer and director Cameron Crowe's life. He spent his adolescence on the road covering bands like The Who and Led Zeppelin. And his story starts with the kind of seminal rock and roll classic you'd expect from a film like this. The Chipmunk Song. Okay, we get that it might seem to clash with the rest of the soundtrack, but it does set the tone not only for the scene, but also for what this movie is all about, informing character through song.
11!
We're in a not very Christmassy place around Christmas time. Much like the song, our hero is currently juvenile, not complex, and high-pitched.
Well, what's wrong with that?
And walked off to look for America.
Fortunately, we quickly jump into the meat of the music as William's sister leaves her mom and childhood behind to the tune of America by Simon and Garfunkel, a ballad about hitting the road to look for something you can't articulate, but know you don't have. What William's sister did have was quite a collection of rock and roll records, something she bestows to her brother and tells him to listen to.
Look under your bed. It'll set you free.
In The Who's rock opera album Tommy, the no-lyrics-only vibes Sparks is the song that helps the titular Tommy develop his inner consciousness. In Almost Famous, it's the song that opens William's eyes to the world of rock and roll. Quick fun fact about these albums Will sorts through, they're actually from director Cameron Crowe's personal collection. He told Rolling Stone in 2000, "I shot that scene so many times with the albums in different orders, but Pet Sounds was always first. That album is the sweetest sad thing I've ever heard." But back to the movie. We get several more incredible songs from the era in the ensuing scenes.
Take a straight and stronger course to the corner.
We then get into Stillwater's music. This is Fever Dog by Stillwater, by Nancy Wilson. Wilson, of Hearts fame, was married to Crowe at the time, and together they wrote 3 of Stillwater's 5 original tracks. Peter Frampton penned the other 2. Yeah, some roster of ghostwriters, huh? No wonder the band was considered to be so promising. Anyway, the plot mirroring song choices continues as the story unfolds.
Pronto?
Can I speak with William, please?
Is this Marianne with the pot? Hello?
No. This is not Marianne with the pot. This is Elaine, his mother.
William's mom fails to reach him on the phone, so naturally that's followed by a song in which a man recalls the advice his mother gave to him.
You're Russell from Stillwater.
Neil Young's song about disillusionment with the LA music scene plays at the Topeka party Russell goes to when he wants to experience the real world. And possibly the most iconic scene in the entire movie follows the same pattern. The band is fighting. Tensions are high. Life on the road is getting to them. So when everyone on the tour bus forgets the turbulence for a moment and joins together to sing, the only correct song choice is Elton John's Tiny Dancer. The song was written about the people who surround musicians, how their spirit makes bands come alive, makes all the different places they go still feel like home. Penny tells Will the bus is his home. Regardless of whether or not that's true, the bus is this band's home. And this moment makes that abundantly clear. The song also becomes a leitmotif in the film, returning in instrumental form towards the end, when Russell and Will reconcile. Still on brand. Crow said Elton John had a great reaction to the use of his track. As soon as he saw the movie, he was like, "I always loved that song, Tiny Dancer. You understand that song." He gives us credit for it. But while the bus scene might have been Elton and the public's favorite, it's not Cameron Crowe's.
I listen to the wind of my soul.
That honor belongs to this ethereal moment. Penny is reliving the glory of the previous night's concert. The figurative wind is taking Penny to a new band, Stillwater to a new manager, and William along for the ride. And incidentally, the literal wind will end up almost crashing Stillwater's plane, bringing them back to their true home of the bus. But that's probably just a coincidence. Probably. The film closes out with a few more great songs, and the final scenes are scored with Led Zeppelin's Tangerine. A wistful song reflecting on past loves. The characters are moving on. Penny is off to Morocco. William is back home. The band is back on the road. As we're taken through Polaroids of previous weeks, the song reminds us that these are all already memories for the characters. And maybe that's why Crowe chose to end the film this way. As an incredibly personal and only partially fictionalized tale, this whole thing was likely one nostalgia trip down memory lane for him. So why not end on a note of nostalgia? After all, if you've ever seen Almost Famous, chances are you're nostalgic for that world too. There are dozens of songs we didn't feature, so please, go and watch it to appreciate just how perfectly the soundtrack tells the story. And don't forget to subscribe to our page so you can enjoy all our videos. Thanks for watching.